Hello everyone and welcome to the world of 50 Shades in the world of Mark 1 Focuses. And we have been doing a few things behind the scenes, have we not, my dear? Since the last time you may have seen this car in an episode which was at the Classic Motor Hub, the third and final Mark 1 meet of the year as far as the club is concerned. We had a very successful year and 3 exceptional meets. Because of the people, the cars and the venues, all 3 great venues and amazing days. Now the summer season has finished, she is going to be tucked away a little bit more, but before then we have got some long overdue jobs, which was prompted by another car that I need to really get on top of this. And I had a brand new front bumper that was in the packet, in the primer, thankfully collected by a friend called Adam, a very well-known admin on the Mark 1 club group, who got it on my behalf for the costly sum of around £20 because somebody bought it and never fitted it to their Focus, clearly accident damage, and they decided to scrap it. These things happen. And a second-hand rear bumper that kindly given to me by Dave, the owner of the famous Focus Silver, probably the most famous Mark 1 as far as I'm concerned in terms of condition. And that bumper needed a little bit of work, but it came up good. And I'm just going to show you some pictures of me fitting the rear bumper the other day. It went on absolutely amazingly. The old bumper is cut up into bits. It is awful. I hated that bumper. It had those ridiculous parking sensors that I don't want to wish I just don't want to know. And the car would probably want to forget that time of its life, where it was virtually a mobility car of such. That's my theory anyway. Somebody owned it who had the use of only 1 foot and quite clearly couldn't really drive properly. Secondly, the new rear bumper is in... The finish is unbelievable, and it lifts the car so much nicer at the back, and it was a relatively easy job. I just had to do a little bit of painting. I actually had some spare Halford's Panther Black spray paint that I used to just tidy up the crash bar just a little bit, but all I can say is there was a minimal amount of rust, and the only rust was actually behind some seam sealer that was put there by the body shop that did all the rear end stuff. So I peeled the seam sealer away, de-rusted it, painted it, and then put a little bit of seam sealer in all sorts of the corners that require it. As far as the front bumper is concerned, that's equally looking as good, and it is going to go on today. But strangely enough, I have done a rear bumper removal on this channel quite a few years ago. But now, the front bumper, yes, I've actually never removed the front bumper on this car in 11 years. Would you believe it? I know that what is virtually mostly here anyway, because my hands have been everywhere on this car, literally. But I thought it'd be nice to actually remove the bumper with you actually watching this video. I was going to do this off camera because it's been done before by many YouTubers, but I'm going to gently remove this bumper, and I think this bumper is going to go in the bin also for a couple of different reasons that I'm going to note now. I was going to do this video out here, but it's just sopping, absolutely sopping today. So I've had to just sort of come out a little bit, and I've half shut the garage door. So number one on this car, you may have noticed that we've got this bowing out here at the end, and I'll tell you what, that's a very common Mark 1 thing, and it's because the end of this bumper is actually cracked just a little bit. They actually do weaken along the sides just a little bit. This one, not so bad, but I'm hoping to massage that into place if the new one doesn't quite want to play ball. But there's always a little bit of toing and froing with this kind of thing. But anyway, to remove the bumper properly, you're going to have to do a number of things first. Firstly, I will make it clear, I've got some reproduction number plates. If you look at this picture, I actually changed the rear number plate a couple of months ago. You may notice that at a local Mark 1 meet if you were there in person, that I have had reproductions made of, and I'm thankfully very lucky here that I had the copy of the original plate that you could see at the back there. I've had that since I bought the car, and that's been on since new. I did replace it a couple of years ago just for security and the fact that it was starting to crack. I didn't want it dropping off. I am going to stick it on like I've stuck this on, because I don't want to do screws no more. Screws are nasty and there's a risk of cracking. I've seen that before with plates. So you've got to be very careful when drilling number plates. It is entirely at your own risk. I prefer this kind of look, and to be fair, when it goes on, to be honest. This one is going to probably go in the bin with the rest of this bumper. Now, we are going to take a number of things off, but the first thing really you need to do is, actually, we're going to just study the new bumper over here. So, hello, my dear. Hello, hello, hello. Right, so we are all nicely painted in. This is the back side of it. We've got these tabs. Now, to get access to these tabs, we have to sort of bend them down to push the bumper that way. You see, we got a new toe. By the way, the new bumper came with a towing eye cover as well, so that was really nice. But we have to get access to these, and that means we have to remove the front grille and headlight and do this properly. There is going to be a lot of cleaning that I'm going to have to do, but literally there's a bolt just here and a bolt just here, and you lift these tabs up and off we go. So I'm just going to lift these out the way. This is the flimsiest bumper in the world, grille in the world. I think these are a terrible design flaw, designed to break here and here. Anyway, let's just remove these. You know when I said there was mishaps with these grills and how poor they are? Look at that. Completely and utterly broken. That has just literally snapped off there. That was waiting to go. Right, that is going to go in the bin of shame, and I'm going to get a new one. I'll probably end up taking that badge off. I'll do that in a second, but that's going in the bin of shame. That's absolutely fine, because I think that was waiting to bust on me at some point. I could tell there was just some micro cracks. I think this one, I mean, I could show you with this one. This one, it's not so bad actually. That one's actually quite stiff, but crap, absolute crap. Right, that's the first casualty of today. Don't worry, we're going to have a few casualties, but that's okay, because interestingly, this tab is not sitting on straight. That's actually already off. Ooh, okay, I need to be very wary, but we've got access to these 4 tabs. Might be a bit of movement in this, but we're going to be doing a lot of cleaning today. But anyway, that's good, because now we can get access to those tabs. But now we need to remove the other bolts, which would be a couple of 10 mils. And I need this one. Now the third one, obviously, as I've said, because I've replaced these headlights before, if you don't know how to replace them, obviously there's these 2 bolts, and then there's a third one underneath the headlight which connects the headlight to the wing. It's literally just under here. I can't show you that because of poor lighting, but that's not the purpose of today. If you don't know, have a look at that video, but it's right underneath the headlight. There's another bolt. Right, now we've released the bottom bolt, the headlight is free. We just need to undo the connections. There we go, lovely. This one done, and just put this away very gently. Lovely, I'll put that, pop it over here for now. I'll probably have to put that in the dry. And it's looking rather clean under here. Yep. Power steering pipe, so you got your pipe to your compression on your rigid pipe here, and we got an access to another tab. Again, that tab is out. Why this bumper is not clicked in. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. I wonder if there's been a bit of movement up here. But that clip is not in. But anyway, we got access. So that's the little tab where you connect the wing to the bottom of the headlight, which is here, that one. Okay, just where my finger is. So, yeah, it looks all rather clean down here, actually. Just stick that in. We've got that 10mm. Oh, God, I hate that one. We've got a 10mm right over there, that 10mm. We're going to have to pinch these two, because that's part of the bumper bracket. We've got these wing nuts that sit here with some fixings that we have to come around from the other side to release. I'll explain that more in a second, but that's looking really, really good. I just need to probably do a bit of cleaning down that corner, just down there. You don't want the rust creeping in, but as I say, there's a lot of painting to be done, or a lot of cleaning at some point. But yes, anyway, remove the headlight in the same way on this side. My horns have started to go a bit rusty on that bracket. I'll have a look at that in a second. Just clean all this off. Again, we've got the same on this side. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, got a 10mm bolt there on that side, and just needs cleaning basically. But again, oh, this has actually kind of clicked in, but again, there seems to be some serious amount of movement going on here. I don't know why that is, but I'll keep having to investigate why that is. But it's just dusty, as you can imagine. It's just a dirt trap. Now, before we release the bumper, I'm just going to take a number of oddities off, including this. Now, these can snap, these fog light trims. If you've got blanks, well, you're all right, aren't you? You know. But I think I'll just stick this screwdriver in and just try and leer it out. I personally don't care about damaging the paintwork. Right, that's it. Just getting a screwdriver and just leering, because you've got a clip here, you've got a clip here. Just thought I'd take that out. There we go, lovely. Now, these have a habit of snapping, by the way. I call these disposable items, but this one, I think this is an aftermarket one. I think it is. Yes, it is an aftermarket one. But it's not broken. Usually they break right at the ends where the ends come off. But that's come out intact. I'm really pleased about that. God, that dust in here. Right, now what we can do to release this fog light is we're going to have to go around the other side and just twist the connector off. And you literally just get in and just... Oh, God, come on. There we go. Now what you have to do, you have to turn it this way. So you're turning the connection this way, okay, clockwise, and then you can whiz it out. There we go. Done. I'm going to leave that. Do not touch the glass. Okay, that is a halogen fog light, so don't touch that at all. At least that's free. Now we can get access to a screw, which is there, which keeps the whole thing in. I discovered that I've lost the screw in the... There we go. I believe that'll just come out as one unit. Fantastic. Whew. Now these, I will tell you, are aftermarket. These fog lights have a habit of going yellow over the time, but I'll tell you what, you know why the aftermarket ones are actually superior, and that is because you see that little rubber bung, that is a breather. Now that design is very different on the originals, and I believe that's why they go yellow very, very quickly. But I will give this a bit of a clean up, like everything else on this car. But it's very, very clear, I can tell you that. I'll just give it probably a bit of a polish. So yes, well, it's all out, and that's how easy it is. So just repeat the same on the other side. There we go. Yep. Wow. This is also intact. That's really, really good. They usually, as I say, they usually break really, really easily. Let's just take that screw out. Obviously, we want to take this connection out. There we go. And as far as this lower grille is concerned, you just have to get a screwdriver in and bend the tabs at the back, and it will just come out. We're almost there, actually. There's a better way of doing it from the back side where you don't damage the paint. Now, I'm doing this very rough because this bumper is just shot. Someone went into me there. I scratched the wall there. I've done a load of damage to this bumper, but all this was done in the early days of my driving, believe it or not. Luckily I've not. I mean, that is where I went into the back of somebody, very, very gently, I can tell you that. It was actually a friend, and I ended up taking more paint off my car than his. That was good. But yeah, so basically you've just got some clips that you just have to kind of ease out a little bit. There's no way while doing that. Done. Oh, blimey. Right, so guys, as we can see, I'm just going to show you these. Got a tab there, got another tab there, and one in the middle, and then it just really splines on. But my God, that is disgusting, that is. Whoa. Okay. You can still get genuine ones very, very easily, but my God, that's a mess in there. I did respray the power steering pipes, and the automatic transmission cooler is looking quite good in front of there. We'll get all this off and we can get more access. Now we have got these tabs on the back side. For the lower, we've got to take the stone deflector. Now this stone deflector, by the way, guys, this is something that is sorely missed on a lot of cars. It goes between the bumper and the lower radiator cross member, okay, the reinforcing bracket, and basically it makes sure that it stiffens the bumper, because there's a lot of Mark 1s without that, and they sag quite a bit, and you'll see a massive gap between the bumper and the headlight. And I will get you the parts number for my specific car, for maybe a 1.6, 1.4, it'd be exactly the same with or without aircon. If it's a pre-facelift, it'll be a different version to this. So I can't guarantee that it will fit your car. So I can get it off and show you the parts number. Right, so basically the stone deflector clips to the bottom of the front wing using these clips. Somehow I've got to swap them over, but I don't know whether that's possible, because it doesn't look like the one I've got actually has those fixings for some reason. But it clips to the bottom of the radiator cross member using these clips. Now the reason that these fall off is because the clips fail, and I've just pulled these clips free, but you've got to separate them. You've got to get a pick in there and separate the two halves in order to pull it out, although they look as if they're going to come out anyway. But I'm just going to whip these off using my hands. There's not much space around here, but you get the picture. Once these are off, this will just slide this way, but it keeps it all, I mean, now it's loose. You can see how flip-floppy the bumper is. Right, so now the bumper is all nice and flexy, and we can just slide it out of these clips. I wonder how these clips, oh, they just transfer these. Yeah, they just pull out and I'll transfer them. Good, good, good. Right, more importantly, let's get this stone deflector out. It is like well, under tray stone deflector, which is the name for it. Now, so basically some of them have got two tabs, one and one, but this has only got one. I think the pre-facelift ones have got two tabs, by the way, but we've got one on each side. So just so you know. And yeah, there's a little, I think you're supposed to bend quite a bit. This is the dirty side, but the most important side. Okay, this is your parts number 2M51 AAB 384 AB. So I'm just going to get you in there. Okay, that's for those of you who want to find one of them. Again, that's going in the to wash pile. Now we're almost in. Again, you know, I don't really mind just gently pry it in. You can use a pry bar if you want, but once you've got it started, it will just come out really, really easy. And these are aftermarket Yep, these are definitely aftermarket, and the aftermarket ones I think are very, very good quality. I never seem to have an issue with them, and they have the same sort of grain and texture. There you go, there was no damage to the bumper by doing that. So that you can do that, and I would do it on the new ones. And so again, just going to gently pop them there without scratching them. Great. Last one. Yeah, I'm sorry, this is going nowhere. Yeah. Okay, well, that's done. Right, okay, so now we can start actually taking the bumper off. We are kind of almost there. Now, the easiest parts to take off are inside here. Okay, so what we have here is how the wing is situated. Now, excuse that the light might be quite bright, but I want you to see this. Now, if I just tone that in, there we go, it's a bit less daunting for you. These are the clips that hold the two fixings. So there's two 10mm screws. Now, there used to be Phillips screws. That is a big design flaw on Mark 1s. I've replaced them using hex fixings, and I recommend owners do the same because they can round and you need to drill them out. It's a real problem for Mark 1 owners at this time because a lot of owners are changing their wings, and that means getting access to these and getting them off, and it is making what was again an easy task 5 to 10 years ago and now a horrible one. Particularly on cars that have not been disturbed. Just be careful of edges like this. I've just caught my wrist on that sharp edge of this bot section. But you've got these two where two fixings go into. Okay, now these can fail. So these little bits sticking out actually stop the fixing from dropping down. But I've seen where these break and the bumper and the wing can have a massive gap, and the bumper will hang down because these are not clipped in properly. That's the biggest thing I've seen when these clips get weak. I suggest you get new clips. These two need replacing, 2 on each side. This is just a clip that actually frequently snaps. Actually, it has snapped. This is an aftermarket one that has already snapped because when I had these wings changed, I gave the garage another bumper reinforcer, which is here where my fingers are. You won't see it from this side. So that's already snapped because look, it's actually snapped on that side. But that's just a clip that you basically push together and then you push it out with the wing. And down here we've got another one, but we've also got a 10mm. That 10mm is going to have to come off 100%. So we're going to take that 10mm out now. God, that was easy. That was really easy. I did provide new fixings down here, so we wouldn't have an issue with rounding, but there you go. There's one fixing nicely out. Okay, and I'm going to repeat the same on this side. Right, you join me on the other side, and as you can see right here where my socket is the reinforcer. This goes between the bumper and the wing, and we literally take out these two fixings, one here and one here. And I have replaced mine. Don't tighten it, Andrew, loosen it, fella. And then when these are loose, there we go, that's come out very nicely. You can see what I'm doing. I'm going to loosen these, then loosen the other ones on the other side, and then I'm going to finish the job by coming back round, because doing it here, it's horrible. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I just wanted to show you that, so that you know exactly what you're doing. So literally, I would just come from the other side and just put your spanner all the way down, and do it this way, because that's the point in taking the headlight out, that you're not having to do that. But if it helps just by going under the car, seeing what's there, so you can come back round this side and finish the job off. It's always good to have a look at what you're doing, because you can see what you're doing. But apart from that, just do it from this side. That's why you take your headlights out. And plus, I need to do a load of cleaning anyway, as you can see. So just continue taking these out. What's happening? Oh dear, it's spinning. Yes, this fixing is spinning with the nut. So you are going to, this is the problem. You are going to have to hold with some pliers and while you're untightening the bolt. That is a common thing for these to spin with the bolts. Now doing that from down below, my God, that's hard. I've done that before. Now I remember exactly what a pain these were. There you go. Easy as you can see. Just got my span underneath and holding it steady. That's coming out so nicely. There we go. Come on. Yay! Gosh, that's rusty. They do get rusty, these fixings. I recommend replacing them with new fixings if you've got new ones. Now, I think I've got some somewhere. Right, so now we are all free on that side, and we just, there we go, just push it all the way through, and the reinforcer will just pop out. There we go. Now this reinforcer is an aftermarket one. They're okay, but that one's already snapped. Goodness me, well, it doesn't matter because the new bumper comes with reinforcers. Yes, unbelievably so. So, in the bloody bin. And so is this one. I believe this is this going to resist? This one might be welded to the bumper. Yes. Well, it's come away with the bumper. Sometimes they don't want to release completely. Well, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter because we need to take, well, I need a Torx T30 or whatever size this is because I'll replace some of these bolts. Well, basically, you have to remove this bolt down here, connecting the front arch liner to the bumper. We don't want that coming away either. There we go. That is totally and utterly free now, that bumper. Yeah, okay. Just put that fixing down here. And then do the same on this side. Lovely. Right. I don't really care about this bumper, but basically, we just get it away from the tabs, lift it down, push it down. Should be nothing keeping that on now. Yeah, it's coming off. It will resist here a little bit. There we go, just do it gently. I don't want to make too much of a mess. There we go, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone. Ah! I don't care about this. This is the original bumper to this car, but it's had its day. And the sun is just coming out. I might just get this car outside for the... Wow. It's never going in the bin of shame, but it started to crack right at the end there. That's why it just bows out a little bit. The new one might bow out. Yeah, it might bow out as well, but as I say, this reinforced... This is stuck in. Ugh. Just come out. Goodness me. Comes to something we're going to have to really jam it through. But anyway, more importantly, let me just open this garage. Just a bit of light in now because it has stopped raining. Wow. That is very rust free. got your tubes going all the way through there. This cross member I looked at ages ago. Power steering pipes look amazing. The transmission cooler, which takes it from the gearbox there on the side down these pipes. These transmission coolers, I'll tell you, are very expensive. You can get them from North America because this gearbox was pretty much standard over there in many cases. And yeah, some of the core is gone, but it's not that bad, and I never have issues with the transmission. There is a transmission temperature sensor to tell me if things are going wrong a little bit. But I did paint these, and it's still looking rust-free. These pipes can get really nasty. Oh, I'm really pleased. Even do you know, all the work I did ages ago, and believe it or not, look at that. What is here? Does anybody know what this is? This is the barcode for the car. Yes. This is your barcode that they would have stamped in the factory, and that is your car's identity when it goes through the factory. Wow, that's the first time I've seen that barcode. That's fascinating. It's all there, it just needs to be cleaned up. This front cross member is, I mean, to be fair, this is the ultimate time for me to take this off and blooming spray it up, but I don't need to. This is all Panther black. This is not. This is satin black that I did on the top side. I'll probably end up painting this in the future for definite. Fantastic. Got some wire looms going across the front here. This is attached to the back side. Ideally so. Have we got... I can't remember where the crash sensor goes. I can't see anything down there. There's no corrosion down there whatsoever. Fascinating. Right, I've got a lot of cleaning to do. Hopefully I can get this car outside and tidy up a little bit more, but I'll cut back to then. Goodness me, that was quick. No, well, for me it was a few hours hard grafting, I can tell you, to get that looking good. I've used the remaining sort of Panther black paint that I had, some gloss black and a few other bits and pieces to tidy every single area up on this car. 50 Shades as she's never been seen before. Certainly not to my eyes. I've never seen the car looking like this before. I've never actually seen this crash bar. I'm not joking. I've never taken the bump off my car before. I've done it on other Mark 1s, but not on this one. Strangely, it's never needed it. But there is some evidence over here that this bumper is not the original, believe it or not. Now, I don't know what this is, but why would it have numbers on it? 612. Yeah. And also, I'm not being funny, the date stamp there is from 2004. Oh, I can't see. 07 2004. So this car has had a bit of a charmed life, and I kind of suspected this a little bit. So I'm now thinking that this crash bar is not the original. I think this has had a bit of a shunt up the front. However, I can say that we haven't had any cracking, so there's some welding where the crash bar sort of locks on onto this bar. You can take this off, but where it goes on, I've got a feeling. Now, as I say, you've got the bolts behind here that go through, but all this welding is the original weld. It hasn't broken whatsoever. This is a classic sign if your Mark 1 has been in an accident. These chassis legs will be buckled, by the way. It wouldn't be so straight. This weld would be broken. We've got another weld on the other side, unbroken. So there's been no buckling of this car whatsoever. However, there was some minor of a dent on this side that I've just had to paint up. It was a bit rusty on the corner. If you see on this side, it's nice and straight. That is not a manufacturing thing. I think it's caught on this bumper. I think there was some damage, but only to the original bumper. This is not the original bumper. My goodness me. Wow. That is something I never knew about this car. So if you're not sure about the date stamp on things, have a look at the date punches. As I say, that date punch, that is exactly the month and the year it was manufactured. How interesting. So anyway, this car is now going to have the third bumper of its life. I just want to show you around some of the infrastructure at the front while we've got all this revealed. Big galloping hole for obviously the headlight. I have fitted a new clip there because you remember the one that was spinning round? It had got damaged and it shouldn't really be spinning round. I shouldn't be able to twist these around. So I got a new one out of my spares and that's all been cleaned. Make sure you get all the crap out of this corner, please, because that's a major reason why these rust, apart from the chafing that you can get, as always. But there's nothing wrong with this whatsoever. There is a little bit of chafing going on now, unfortunately, that's caught, but I can't really help that. I can polish it back in, but otherwise it looks really, really good. This is looking really good down there, really straight. Again, this weld is unbroken. Again, another Mark 1 in an accident would show that very much so. This tubular section of a crash bar is untouched, really. Yes, fog lights hanging down. You'll be connected in a second. Most of you, every single Mark 1 has got the plugs for fog lights. You just need to put the fuse in, change the switch, because some of the switches don't encompass the fog light element, the front fog light element, and obviously fit the correct bulbs. And that's it. It will be taped up. It will be plugged maybe here, or I think these wires can sometimes be attached here to one of these, and just that wire will be just plugged in there with a little fir tree clip. That's what you'll find. You can convert your car to front fogs if you want front fogs. That is a subtle mod, and it's something that, well, it makes it more usable. I don't see why not, but otherwise keep it the same if you don't want to. I've just cleaned up all of this. This has been painted and this has just been cleaned up. This is just the original paint. I've just gone over here, a bit of chafing going on over here, but the wiring loom is kind of attached on the back of this and it runs around here, so it goes all the way from the fuse box round the front, round here, one little connection to the little lock here. I've dowsed this in GT85, not WD-40, GT85 please. And then it goes all the way around into this branch here where it branches off into the headlight, an earth point and a fog, and I believe there's something else. I think there's a plug here that's got a cap on it, and this is a plug that my car doesn't use. How interesting, it's got this little cap on it. I didn't really notice this before, so that's another interesting thing I've discovered. There are some scabs working its way down, but I'm going to treat that later. I'm going to be doing a lot of this in Panther Black at some time in the future. I don't know when, but it will be done at some point, because I would like to restore a lot of this original paintwork. I see what I mean. This is the original paint and this is what I went over. I just, I didn't have a lot of paint at the time and there's some bubbling and reactions, but all that's going to be stripped out in the future for some work. But I just wanted to clean this up and make sure it's all good to go. I clean, when I work on a car, guys, I clean as I go. You know the way I work, and that way you get a very, very clean car at the end of it. But it takes years. It takes years. I have cleaned up the fog, the horn, the fog horn. Honestly, what am I saying? I am cleaning up the horn bracket. It just it was a little bit rusty, but I've just cleaned that up and cleaned up the horns a little bit, and they work perfectly fine. I just disconnected. It's only a single bolt, and I have got twin horns on this. A lot of Mark 1s, a lot of later Mark 1s only have a single horn, mainly, and I believe it would be poverty spec models that would only get a single horn. If you had an upper model, you got two. If you have a later one, they went back to one. it was literally a lot, a sort of lottery draw whether you got one or two, but they have been cleaned nice and thoroughly. Again, there is a bit of rusting along this seam. Actually, I missed that a little bit. I'm going to go over that, but overall it's an unbroken weld, which is what you want to see. The cross member has been painted up. I have gone over the power steering pipes as well. They can go a little bit funny as well. Yeah, these are really nice, and the cross member is looking absolutely fantastic. And I've just gone over the bottom a little bit because, again, like I said, these can rust out and get weak, and they can actually bend. They're not thin pieces of steel. They're not thick, I should say. They're very thin. So areas that I can't quite get to. There's still bit areas of dirt, but overall really nice. And what I have done is because I painted these straps years ago. There's 1, 2, 3 straps of a 10mm. This strap here was down here, and it was allowing too much movement of this pipe, because this pipe, it's this one here, and it's a bit too much movement. And I think there's a bit of chafing going on of this pipe. So just be careful of that. But this is the return line to the reservoir, okay? But I've just moved it across just to give it a bit of more balanced support. But the automatic transmission coil looks absolutely fine. And you know what? There's absolutely nothing to say about this now. You've seen the front now, and this is how it's all arranged. Obviously, this crash beam structure is bolted there. There's another bolt there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I believe the whole thing would then come out in one piece if you wanted to respray the whole front. But again, you're going to have to take the bumper off. You're going to have to take the whole lot off. I'm not going to be doing that because the lower part is fine and it's hidden. It's the top part that I'm going to be spraying up later on, and a lot of it's going to be stripped, and I'm going to have to mask up nicely, but it can be done in situ very nicely. That will definitely be a job for another day. But right, I'm going to get on and sort this new bumper out, and it is a simple plug and play basically. I'm going to get on and I'm going to stick you guys on a time lapse, because really honestly, you're just banging the bumper in, slide it in, clip it in, okay, and then start putting your bolts in, okay. Start putting your fixings in. Remember, the bolt that goes at the back goes this way, okay. It screws into the rear support, the bumper support bracket, one of the ones I've thrown away. That bumper does come with support brackets fitted to it, so it's a genuine Ford one. It comes with every attachment going. There is something I've got to take off actually, and it is that towing guy. I have taken this off. If anybody wants one of these, it's not in brilliant condition, but it's a usable condition, and it's there. It's not missing. It tends to be missing a lot. People just catch these on curbs and they just fall off. The one that I've got on the bumper is not necessarily the correct one. I'm just going to take this out. There we go. It's just a sort of matte black colour, but I'll just put that in my spares, but that's ready to go in the bin. It's not even the original bumper, so I feel less guilty about chucking that in the bin. Right, I just had to consult my video for a second then. These just slip on the top, so these little slippers, the plastic stone deflector, that piece there, this piece slides into here, so I'm just going to butt it in. There we go, lovely. And then we just put the other few on. Just gave these a bit of a respray, these brackets. There's just the little things that make a lot of difference. And by the way, guys, this stone deflector on the bumper, I have to give a really big thank you to my good friend Rob, who has supplied me with a genuine one, which has been on the racking in his garage for many years, since his body shop apprentice days. This is so nice, and he gave it to me for free. It was just sitting there while we were talking about cars and not what. I went away and I told him the only piece that I'm missing from all this front bumper stuff
is a stone deflector, and he said, oh my gosh, Andrew, I've got one. He had one hanging right above our heads, the piece that I needed, and it is a really nice new old stock piece. It's never been fitted to any car. However, guys, you cannot fit this stone deflector in situ, so whoever wants the stone deflector off that, you're gonna have to remove the front bumper, and you're gonna have to use a mallet because it's lined up centrally. There's a central marking in the middle, and then it's hammered onto this spline here. It's got a metal collar, but it does need a lot of heat to be able to subtly go on with a mallet, but you must remove the bumper. It's got to be a two-person job, that you can't do it otherwise. They just fight you. And some of you will have noticed it is not a facelift stone deflector. It is a pre-facelift that has a slight curve to it at the bottom. I prefer these. They look less cheap than the facelift ones where it's just a straight piece. So a subtle modification. I'm not going to say no because it's a free gift from a friend, and it saved me about £80, which is what they cost, whether it's pre or post facelift basically. So anyway, I'm going to crack on and slot this all into place. Absolutely brilliant. I tell you something straight away, look at that, barely any bowing out on that side, and on this side, yeah, nothing as such. In fact, I think on this side I just need to put probably a bit of touch up where it's just, oh no, it's not, it's just the reflection and the light actually. That has gone on so nicely, and that stone deflector looks absolutely superb. There's some things on the early cars that I really like, and it is definitely that stone deflector. Brilliant. It does need a bit of settling because it's been in storage for such a long time, so I'm going to let that sit. But the key is when you're offering the bumper up to get it on these clips, and that keeps it on the car. I have plenty of bubble wrap just in case it dropped on me, but the stone deflector will stop any damage. That's the idea of doing that then. And what you got to do is you got to push this main clip through where it clips in, and then it won't go nowhere. And then I've just put the 10mm bolt at the back on the rear fixing, and again on that side, okay, just that 10mm bolt, and now it's all butted up. Now what you can do is you can put the two lower bolts in, and you can do it from this side, I think, virtually. Feed it in. You could probably just see the bolt on the other side of this fixing. Do it by hand first, guys, rather than not. I think this one is actually difficult to access, but I've managed to put this one in just... This is not a job to do when you're in a rush. I wouldn't have done this job half as thoroughly. There you go, that's gone in. I wouldn't have done this job half as thoroughly. I have got some more plastic clips for the stone deflector. Trying to use all the... Which ones don't look as good? I'm trying to use all the clips that look a bit funny, to be honest. Actually, this is the yeah. I've replaced, if you have noticed, all the rusty clips with much better ones. I think that's the best way of going forwards, because otherwise you're going to have issues in the future. So try and use the best fasteners that you have. And yes, guys, I can't find to get it in. There's no space because you got this box section, so I'll do that. It's lovely to see everything being nice on you. You can see what's what. Just screw them in. Just nip it up, not overly tight, just nip it up. Remember, it's a big piece of plastic it's screwing into. Don't do it too much. There we go. As soon as it starts to slip. Oof. Right, that took some manoeuvring. So we've managed to get all the screws in. There's still a little bit of a gap here, but the problem is with this gap, it's because of this. There we go. I've just, because there's no deflector on, it's not pushing the bumper up. These clips are trying to sink downwards. That's the only problem with this. So I might have to just readjust these clips because they're not quite sitting as they should be. But overall, good. And by the way, if people are asking why is that bolt the other way around to the others, why do they come up and that one goes down? It's merely to prevent the bumper from falling off on one side. If these clips completely fail and that clip fails all at the same time, which is possible, if you clip the front and it waggled the front end, you see how much movement I'm getting. It's potential for the bumper to completely drop on the floor. If it wasn't for that bolt, the bolt will save it basically from crashing everywhere. But yes, just a bit of readjustment and fantastic. I'll just actually, I fancy sticking some trims on. These are very simple to slot in. Just pop that in there. God, it does have a bit of give, this bumper. Oh, goodness me, that is quite, ooh. There we go. Just brute force. There we go. Is required. There we go. That's one in. It's always easier with two hands, obviously. But just get that back in. Take, just slide it in. There we go. Lovely. In. Now I need to do his stone deflector. Right. Well, the best way around this is to have all your clips ready. So have the bottom pieces and the pegs that you insert into them to expand the peg. It's as simple as that, but we need to just get this hooked onto the bumper. Now just need to make sure we've got this the right way. So it goes like this, okay? The top connecting to the bumper is higher than the bit connecting to the radiator. Slip it in, lovely, and perfect. Right, now we can insert the clips. Now this is where the fight comes in. You've got to put one clip in and then get the peg in straight away. It will want to fight you here and ping off. So get one peg in. Oh, done. That's in. That's not going anywhere. Now once you've got your first one in, you're good. And just get your second one in. Get your peg. As again, it will want to fight you. So there you go. And the next one, you'll just see the holes in the radiator cross member. And then, oh come on, here we go. Some people wouldn't bother putting this on, but it's crucial. Without this, the bumper's going to sag. It's not as structurally strong. It's horrible. So many Mark 1s are missing these. But the pre-facelift ones are slightly different. They're slightly a slightly different length, so you can't interchange pre-facelift and facelift. Lovely. That is now nice and secure and on, and it looks really, really nice and finished under it instead of looking at pipe work. Perfect. And in fact, yeah, that has definitely made the bumper sit out a little bit more. I'm still not quite happy with that a little bit. Unfortunately, the problem is with Mark 1s, the clips do get really funny. The way they sit is really awkward and they can just sink in a little bit. That side I'm not very happy with because you can see the blimmin' yellow clip. Yeah, I'm gonna have to readjust those clips in a second, but otherwise, lower grille. There's no real technique to this. It just clips on at the lower bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just give this a bit of a clean up, a real thorough clean up, and there's no real technique to doing this other than just giving it a good, there we go. Oh, it's gone in. Oh, got it. That's gone back. Lovely. You know when you got it, when it goes and changes sound. That's perfect. That's gone right in. I will double check that down there, but hey ho, that looks good. I'll put some detailing products on all this plastic soon. Go away, Spider. Smelling the new paintwork, honestly. And now I've noticed here that these bumpers have gone a little bit out again. There's definitely something. Yeah, it's like the bumper's a bit too low there. It's gone in there, there, but not here, not here. It's like it's a bit too low on this side. If I just pull that, there, I see what I mean. It flexes out a little bit. There's definitely a little bit more. I could get that in a bit more. That clip has just started. What happens is the clips, they start going down. These legs are too weak. It's a very bad design flaw on a Mark 1. I've had this issue before, but usually what you do is you pry out the legs and you can get it sitting higher. But the truth is most Mark 1s will have that issue there, sagging bumpers, because the clips, these two, are not up to the job. They were bad design, very bad design indeed. That in like that, there we go. Okay, so it kind of twists in the downwards position, and we need to just aim this in here, okay, and it will just sit centrally. There's no magic trick to this, and then you have to hold it while putting this screw in. Now, it would help to have a magnetic screwdriver, but sadly I don't have one at the moment, so you kind of, if it helps, just put the screw in to the housing and then offer it up. There you go, you're almost there. And just aim it in, okay, and it will go straight in. There you go. There you go, that's gone in. That is secure. Now there is an adjustment down there for adjusting the level of a fog light. Do not worry about that kind of adjustment. Really, honestly, I've never known one of these to go out of adjustment, even from just straight from the manufacturer. It's not important. They have to be down by a certain amount, but I won't worry too much about that. It's not going to be some sort of failure at all. And then there's no rule of thumb to this, putting the trim over. You must get these clips behind into the slots here, otherwise you're going to have problems. You've got to get the top clip upwards as well. This is where these clips can break very easily, but if you just leer it in, there we go, it's gone in that side, and that's actually, that's gone in. Lovely. They're never the most flush type of trim, I can assure you, so don't worry if the bottom bit is flapping about a little bit, because they never quite go in. Unfortunately, trim on Mark 1 like this is not particularly ideal, but just go to the other side and repeat the same. Okay, gets a bit fiddly this bit. Yeah, just wind it in very nicely. Still not particularly happy with the gap there, but the problem is most Mark 1s, next time you go to a car show with Mark 1s, have a look at the gap, because I can guarantee they won't be very good. These are brand new clips as well, and unfortunately they've already, it's just the weight of the front bumper leering down on them legs. Now the only technique to do that is by spreading the legs just a little bit, but I won't talk about that too much because it's looking amazing, and it's looking far better than what was originally there. That is good, lovely. I've used some new bolts of these and one for the other side. Pretty impressive. That has fitted really nicely. The wing is slightly bowing out a little bit towards the end, but absolutely, yeah, I've got them centered absolutely perfectly. And obviously in my little kitty, we have obviously the swivel badge, which is going to be attached to a new front grille, of which is going to be ordered straight after I get home now. I also have a couple of bolts which hold the grille into their slots, but I'll just keep them on the side. But we do have some sticky tape. Oh yes, of course, we have to have this lovely reproduction number plate, very perfectly reproduced by retro plates on Facebook. That's the place to go. But I'm just going to slot this in as the icing on the cake as such. I cannot wait to get this to shows next year, and the show season is barely finished. Well, it has just about finished. I am going to go and just massage some of these corners out on this bumper deflector, but goodness me, even the rubber feels, look at that. That is so nice. That's the quality of the pre-facelift one. So if you are in for a slight subtle modification, wow, I think this suits it up to a T, and I'm very much for subtle stuff. Ford quality. Anyhow, I'm going to undo this, and then we shall see the results at the end. Lovely. Absolutely fantastic. She's never looked this good in all my ownership, and you could definitely see that with that one over there. I was getting sentimental because I thought it was the original bumper, but now I have absolutely no sentiment towards that sort of thing anyway. That's wonderful. They've done such a lovely job there. Bristol Street, Shirley. Beautiful. Oof, sorry about that. I've had to revert to my phone. My camera died just now. Just the last few minutes, typical. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed doing it, and I've enjoyed cleaning and painting and just getting to know the front of my car a little bit. After 11 years, you thought I'd have done this before, but I haven't. I haven't had to touch parts of this car. That's certainly going in the bin of shame, in pieces. And hopefully this has been quite useful. The pain is these clips, missing stone deflectors at the bottom, missing radiator shields at the bottom, which keeps the bumper nice and taut. A subtle modification with that stone deflector from a pre-facelift. I'm sure you would agree that it has actually changed a little bit of the appearance up front. It's made it look quite nice actually. It's all plugged in, wired in, and I'm going to leave you with a couple of things. Firstly, obviously got to get another grill. Secondly, I'm sick of this handbrake cover. It's been broken for ages. It's a Ford one, and you know what, that's going to go in the bin of shame, and I'm getting another one, probably an aftermarket, something like that. It's only vinyl. I don't care. I need to have it like that because it will remind me that I need to get it done, basically. And there is a video that is coming up very eminently. It will be the next video probably on this car, and I'll just show you what I've been doing. That, ladies and gentlemen, is an arch liner made out of plastic. That is possibly something a lot of Mark 1 owners are going to be interested in. Coming soon.